Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Terry Crow, and I'm the mayor of University City. I would have to say that today I think my dogs are probably grateful that it's raining outside because we've been pretty regular walkers now, and it is nice to see so many of you keeping your social distance but spending quality time with your families and being out and about in our community. And I say that at also recognizing the difficulties that so many of our citizens are facing at this time. As we move forward, I would ask you to please take a moment, if you can, to order from our local restaurants. They've been the backbone of our community for a long time, and the more we can do to help them on whatever basis we can, the better. Several of the municipalities are going to participate in an area food bank drive where we can all help to replenish the stock of the food pantries that, as many of you know, are coming to some pretty low minimums because of the need for additional food. I do want to spend a minute talking about our community. You know, the leaders of your community, whether it be your council members or the city manager and his staff, are doing the best that all of us can to make the best decisions for our community based on the data that we have at hand. Sometimes we're getting conflicting information from different sources, but we are all doing our best. We hope that you will take the opportunity to give us guidance, to give us constructive criticism so that we can always do better at what we're doing. At the same point in time, I will continue to ask all of you for just a little bit of grace, because all of us are in this together, and we are clearly sailing through some uncharted waters. I think many of you know that the city manager's already had to make some tough decisions for our community, and likely there are more decisions to come based on the revenue shortfall that we are likely to experience in the near term. As always, public safety is number one, whether that be police, fire, sanitation. We want to make sure that everyone is safe and that we keep our community going. But I think we all recognize that this is a challenging time, and this is going to be not, as if you've seen on the news, this isn't going to be a V where we come right back. This is probably going to be an awful lot of bumps. And so I appreciate the work that all of our city staff members are putting in during these challenging times. With that in mind, the City Council and I have asked the city manager and his staff to bring us forward a plan to help with the small businesses in our community. And I think that Mr. Rose will probably give greater detail to that in just a few minutes. In that same vein, we are going to do our first City Council meeting by Zoom. So that's a new probably part of our vocabulary that many of us did not know about previously. And if you would like to participate, you could go to the city website, you could go to the City Council drop down, and there are instructions there then for how to participate in the Zoom meeting. We would love to have public participation, but because this is our first time, we need the public comments ahead of time. And again, just a little bit of grace. We're trying this out ourselves, so we're trying to do simply the best that we can. I cannot end my remarks without saying thank you again to the first responders and to all the people who are keeping us safe, whether it be police, fire, and EMT, or whether it be all those people who are working in the hospitals keeping us safe. The best thing that you and I can do is to stay home, wash our hands, keep our distance, and with that, I would like to turn the rest of this program over to our city manager, Gregory Rose.
Mayor, thank you and the council for your leadership. You know, this is perhaps one of the most difficult times in the history, if not our entire country, certainly for University City and for many other cities. Since I presented to you on April the 9th, we are continuing to see devastation caused by the coronavirus. 2.6 million people have tested positive for the virus. 830,000 in the United States, 6,000 cases in Missouri, 2,350 cases in St. Louis County. Worldwide, approximately 180,000 people have lost their lives to the virus. 46,000 Americans 190 Missourians, and 91 in St. Louis County. While we are far from normality, there are signs of improvement that are beginning to emerge as some cities are seeing the rate of increase in positive cases begin to slow. Although the declaration of state of emergency will remain in place, after consultation with the fire department and police department, I am authorizing the opening of parks, trails, and tennis courts effective Friday, May 1st, 2020. Please keep in mind that social distancing measures will remain in place. The playground apparatus, basketball courts, golf course, and other facilities will remain closed. The golf course is being prepared for open no later than May 15th. In addition to the human devastation caused by the coronavirus, there has been substantial negative financial impact. Many of our local businesses are closed, and some may not reopen even after the virus emergency has ended. The city is also being negatively impacted due to an estimated $3.6 million reduction on our sales tax revenues for this fiscal year and an additional $6 million projected for next fiscal year. We needed to reduce our cost, but still allow enough resources to continue providing critical services. Public safety, as the mayor said, and sanitation are our highest priorities. Although I will recommend to the mayor and council to use some of its reserves, we still estimate the city will end next fiscal year with a general fund balance of approximately 22% of projected expenses. This is higher than the 17% that is required by the mayor and council via their policies. Due to past financial planning for an emergency that will reduce our revenues, we are well positioned to weather this storm. I would ask you to keep in mind that this is a very fluid emergency, and estimates today may need to change tomorrow. I mentioned many of our local businesses are having very difficult times with financial impacts of the coronavirus. We are all pleased with the actions taken by Congress to pass a second round of funding for which businesses can apply to save jobs within our community. In addition to federal and state programs that are available by no later than May 11th, I will ask Mayor and Council to consider a program that, if approved, would set aside $1 million for which local businesses can apply to greater leverage their federal dollars. In closing, I would commend our first responders for the work they are doing, especially our paramedic firefighters who are on the front line and have such a great exposure now to the coronavirus themselves. I also want to commend the efforts of the healthcare workers and the partnership created by BJC and Washington University to provide housing for frontline workers who are exposed to the virus that do not desire to live at home. As I always end, please wash your hands vigorously, stay at home if at all possible, stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.